All right, folks, I want to welcome you to Focus on Liberia, to another edition of the Hour of Politics with me, Anthony C. If you have not shared yet, I will encourage you to do so. Those of you who have had the opportunity to listen to me, you have seen me. You know how I try to do my little thing here. But today, I will be different, because what I see that has become a pattern on the part of our legislator has reached a level that is more than acceptable. And so if you have not shared, you might want to do that. Many of you think that $15,000 is too much. Many of you also think $15,000 is not too much. I am here to give it to you in a way that will make you to understand that there is a problem here. And that is what I'm going to do in this edition of the Hour of Politics. My topic for today is the Liberian Senate is a letdown, the case of Darius Dillon. And maybe I should have added in my topic a complete letdown. So I'm adding it right now. Welcome to the broadcast. So, just as we were promised, quote unquote, by one of our well-loved senators, Mr. Abraham Darius Dillon, he was able to resonate with the Liberian people. He came with a lecture. He came with a message that was symbolic. That message was a little more captivating for our people. And hold on, folks, here. Let somebody know I am busy. Somebody's trying to get to me here. Yeah, let the person know that I am busy. So, folks, I was trying to tell you that Senator Darius Dillon broke yet another news, because I don't know how to put it right now. So let's call it a news. He broke this news that senators in the legislature receive $15,000 each. For what? I will tell you. Look, and so $15,000 for each senator. You might be curious, for what? Is it one of those that they are taking for themselves again, putting in your pocket to use as they pleased? There is a gentleman who referred to our lawmakers as legislators. They legislate to loot, or they loot as they legislate. That is what this gentleman, pull it. That our lawmakers are legislators. Is there any truth to that? Well, maybe after my presentation here today, you might have reason to believe or not to believe it. Choice of words sometime, right? So, the law telling us about 15,000 for lawmakers, and for what? Let me bring the news to you. According to Senator Darius Dillon, that's what I put it in quote here, and Dillon is also quoting the Ministry of Finance for legislative engagement and projects. Really? So, lawmakers, in this case, let's deal with the Senate. There are 30 senators from what we know, and each of them walk away with $15,000. And when Dillon broke the news, and let me bring you the information. Let me quote Dillon first before I start my analysis here. Let me do that and go back. So, as I was saying, Dillon broke the news. And this is what Dillon said. Let me read that for you. Full disclosure in the spirit of transparency and accountability. Our office has received 15,000 United States dollars from the Senate via the Ministry of Finance for reason. They got that 15,000 on quote. Dillon quoting the finance ministry here. Legislative engagement and projects. He went further. We will ensure the amount is utilized for the internal purposes. Mark that word, purposes. And that's the reason I'm telling you that. So let me come back to you. And let me leave it on the screen so that as I look into it, you will be able to look at the wordings right there. Transparency, right? Should we clap for Darius Dillon, folks? Should we clap for him? You think he deserves, any commendation because he the one came and say, hey, they gave us $15,000, and out of a sudden, that is transparency in his own words. Because yes, there is a full disclosure in the spirit of transparency and accountability. He wants us to cheer him because he is telling us that he and his fellow senators have gotten $15,000 each for them to use for what he is quoting the Father ministry as legislative engagement and projects. Look at the wordings. They are all capital, pluralized. Engagements and projects, $15,000. So, folks, let me not waste your time anymore. So, what the law is telling us is that each senator at the legislature has been given $15,000 for legislative engagements with us. Not one engagement, $15,000. Now, there's a reason my topic here, I pulled here, let me bring it here, all right. I pulled the case of Senator Darius Dillon. There is a reason. I'm not picking on the senator. Because the case of Darius Dillon, because he is the guy that is trying to act as the good guy here. Right? So, Senator Dillon, the guy who claimed to mean well for his people, does he even know how many persons he represents as senator of Monserrate County? The last time I checked the numbers, Monserrate County has about 1 million people in the county. That number might have increased now. And Senator Darius Dillon, in his wisdom, feel that 15,000 United States dollars is enough for 1 million people in his county. And he is saying that is enough money for him to take and use to engage the 1 million people in Monserrate County. And now when you look at the statement that he posts /projects, so either he will use all the money to engage the people of Monserrate County, the 1 million citizens or residents of Monserrate County, or he will use the $15,000 to carry on projects for 1 million people in Monserrate County. Are you getting the picture? Look, folks, our lawmakers are all completely let down. You represent 1 million people in a county. As a lawmaker, Samuel Twe and the president budgeted and you approve it and you accept it, a $15,000 for projects for your county, and you call yourself a lawmaker, and you think that is any good thing that you are doing for your people, and you come with these eloquent words, for full disclosure in the spirit of transparency and accountability. How many persons, if I may ask those of you listening to me, how many persons in Massarato County of the 1 million people in that county will benefit, whose life will be impacted by $15,000, folks? How many persons? And this is the best each of the senators can do. This is the best even Darius Dillon, who has given some people hope, can do, to take a $15,000 for the 1 million people that you represent in the Senate, and you think that will do anything to improve it, their material condition? $15,000, and you're rushing out to the media to disclose why you claim to be a good news for the people of Massarato County. If you are in Massarato County, and if you are listening to me, if you have been part of their cheering squad, then you should wait again. Folks, bear with me here. I forgot to plug my computer. Let me get my charger. Don't go anywhere. I will be right back. Yeah, video is done. All right, folks, sorry about that. I'm back with you here. We have to look into this. This is too much. This is unacceptable. This is what I see a poor representation and nothing short of a complete and colossal letdown of our people. You take $15,000. You represent about 1 million people in your county. You criticize the TWED, the WEA, and all these guys, and we all agree with you. And this is $15,000 you take as a senator? I'm using Darius Dillon as a case here in my presentation. Doing my presentation in this way does not in any way suggest that the other senators are not guilty of what I classify as a complete letdown of our people. The lawmakers have the authority. They carry on what we call the appropriation of the budget. They do the allocation. They decide that this dollar goes this way and for this. Even though the executive branch of government, meaning Samuel Tue and Joshua and the CDC, will decide or draft the budget and send it to them, but the lawmakers are the one who decide finally what goes where and for what. And these are our lawmakers who are giving $15,000 for themselves, and now they say they are using it for legislative engagements and projects for our people. Do these people not know that the people of Liberia, many of them material conditions are in deplorable condition or deplorable state, and that they are facing the harshest level of poverty ever in our country? Don't the senator always remind us that our economy is in a toilet? Or is it because he knows that the economy is in a toilet, so his understanding is to take the economy from the toilet, is to just take a $15,000 for 1 million people in his county that he represents as a senator? This is the best advocacy he can put on for the 1 million people he represents? Really? What a letdown. And you come here with this language, full disclosure in the spirit of transparency and accountability, using fancy words to project himself as anybody that is different from somebody like Thomas Fowler, somebody like Prince Johnson. Prince Johnson is taking $15,000 for legislative projects and engagements. And Dillon is taking that money too. And let me go to some progressive here. The communist wizard also take that money. What is his progressive resume? What is the spirit of progressivism in him? My understanding of progressive ideas is that those things that are in the best interest of the people, that's what you advocate for. That's what you want to see. And so when you are a lawmaker, somebody by virtue of our constitution, it is who is an allocator of the budget, one who decides who get what, how much, and for what. And you are a progressive, and you say you claim to be one. So is this progressive? This is why you call progressive? Amen. So Senator Commonly we said would take $15,000. I guarantee you, folks, by the time he gets to River G, the county, my understanding, he represents maybe $2,000 or $1,000 will be gone on gasoline. The roads are bad. Amen. I mean, folks, do you just see the picture a little bit I'm painting here? So what I'm telling you is that these lawmakers don't have to take $15,000 for about the thousands of people they represent, because $15,000 is completely nothing. The reason they took the money is because they want to have money to use so that our people can worship them. They want to give our people crumbs. Now, for you who don't get this picture I'm painting, let me make it a little more understandable for you. It's been years now. Every budget that I look at a budget. I'm not a numbers guy. I'm not a student of business, but I know a number when I see it. I know when you put a number somewhere for something, I know it. And this is what I know. These lawmakers who represent the counties, who are direct representative of the people, every budget here, they agree to the executive branch of government that $200,000 is what should go to each county for county development funds. Are you paying attention to me? Our lawmakers will sit there and agree with the executive branch of government that the county that they represent each should get 200,000 United States dollars for county development. What can $200,000 do for a county in terms of development? $200,000. What can they do? And this is the money that they budget every year for county development fund. It has never changed. It doesn't go up. It remains the same. And guess what they get? Our lawmakers always get around 30 million. Are you paying attention? It changed from 1,000 to million, right? The lawmakers put together, the House of Legislature that represent the people, always budget for themselves $30 million for themselves and give each county 200,000 to develop the county. Are they better representatives of the people when they do that? You give yourself 30 million and you get each county 200,000. That has never changed. Dillon King, he can't change it. He said he was the light. What kind of light is this? Is this the light, folks? That the light you people want us to depend on? And I know folks might be thinking I'm picking on Dillon here. I'm not. I'm just using him as a case study. And so my county senator, Peter Comer, did you take that $15,000 too? You and myself from the same town in Grand Crew, Southtown. I know that the Southtown High School has been in rent for 4 years now. That school has not been renovated. And you think $15,000 is enough to renovate that high school? All you do every year, oh, I just put 200, and the 200,000, the lawmakers will chase it. It's like they even decide what goes to each not each superintendent. Folks, our lawmakers are completely let down. But let's come back to basics a little more. So here is Dillon again. Let me read something for you. And the reason I'm using Dillon as a case, I continue to remind you, is because he's trying to make news out of this, that this is big. So here is Dillon here writing again, folks. Here is Dillon. They call him the people's senator. They call him Mr. Light. I don't know what kind of light is that. See here writing? Here is Dillon. The legislative engagements projects 15,000 fund. He put exclamation mark there, as though he has done this very good job. I got $15,000 for 1 million people. This is great. Hey man, my people, you're finished. You're finished. The legislative engagement with S, projects with S. Then you put 15K fund with exclamation mark. Those of us who are learning grammar in school, when they put exclamation mark to something, hey, you know what that means. He continues. What to do with it? He's asking a question. Few thoughts on my mind. Purchase a parcel of land and begin construction of a mini public library. Note, there's no public library, especially for students in Liberia. Now, let's leave it right there, folks. Let me come back to you. You listening to Dillon? So, Darius Dillon, the man with other senators who have that power given to them by the Constitution to allocate the budget in a way that it will improve the material condition of the people they represent, is taking $15,000. And look at the number of things that he's puzzling about to do with 15,000. This is how you get to know that they are not serious. They are a complete letdown. 15,000 United States dollars. Look at the laundry list. What can you do with $15,000? He said, few thoughts come to mind. The people's senator is speaking. Purchase a parcel of land and begin construction of a mini public library. Note, there is no public library, especially for students in Monserrado County. So, folks, this is the meat now that will make you to see the picture I'm painting for you. You as senator, you are responsible to allocate. So when you want anything for your people, what you do, you make sure it gets in the budget. You lobby with your friends. You explain to them why that money is necessary to be budgeted and how much good that money will do. So what is wrong with Senator Darius Dillon? Advocating, for example, that $1 million be put into the budget to build a public library in Morovia. At least he will be serious. But you look at $15,000 and you say, no public library in Monserrado County. He knows it, that there is no public library. But in some way, somehow, this brother thinks $15,000 is the best he can do for the 1 million people that he represents as a senator, and you are listening to me and you're thinking that he's a serious lawmaker. This very Dillon will sit there, all these lawmakers will sit there, Peter Coleman will sit there, or he sat there, Communist Wizard sat there. I don't want to call Prince Johnson. He's a deviant socially. He sat there. I don't want to call Vani Sherman. He sat there. He's a complete letdown, and we all know it. All of them, all the CDC lawmakers, Sir Joseph, he sat there. And what did they do? They get and said $30 million. Every year, about $30 million they gave themselves. They can't even appropriate $1 million for one country. They can't do it. It's so difficult for them. And you think they are now let down completely? Now, let's go to Dillon's note again, folks. Here's your man, Dillon. What should I do? Instead thinking what to do with the $15,000. Assist with payment of school fees for indigent children across the county. Help to empower especially community/market women. Then he continued, are your thoughts? I'm listening. Dillon, I'm glad you're listening. I'm glad you're listening. Darius, Dillon, if you're listening to me, taking $15,000 is a complete letdown. And you are nothing short of complete disappointment, Mr. Senator. Mr. Commoner, we say if you took that money to you are a complete disappointment and a complete letdown, because $15,000 is not enough money for the people of River G. That is an insult to them. And what's his name? Peter Coleman is listening to me. $15,000 is not enough for the people of Grand Creek County, where I come from. You don't insult us like that. You are a complete letdown. All the senators, you are all complete letdown. You take $15,000 from a weir, from a tour. A tour will convince you. You cannot even hold it accountable. These guys do not even submit to you the periodic reports of the budget performance report. Samuel Tour now submitting those reports to you. He sent you $15,000 and told you, oh, it's for legislative engagement and projects, and you took that money, you pull it in your pocket, and you think you have gotten something for the people you represent in your county? Are you serious here? No wonder why, if you visit any of the counties, 10 years later you go there, it's still the same. Either it remains the same or it deteriorates. What is this? What is this? The Lord excited a lot of people. He has given a lot of people hope. He claimed he was this light that was going into this place called darkness. Even though I've had a show yet and I explained to you, he was walking in the darkness with this so-called light in his hand. This is why it doesn't even shine. Our senators are nothing but complete letdown for us. $15,000 for legislative engagements and projects. $15,000 cannot even build a decent toilet for our people. It can't. Maybe it will. It might be one. And so that's the project you're talking about here. You representing so many thousands of people, and you're taking $15,000 for legislative engagement and projects. And Dillon, he said, oh, for me, I think I will build library. You take $15,000 to build public library for Monserrado, a county of about 1 million people. And you coming up here to say, in the spirit of transparency and accountability, using big words, coming up, rushing out to our people to tell them, hey, guess what? And folks, let me show to you again what he did right here for legislative engagement project. The 15K fund, he put exclamation point to it. Do you know why he put exclamation point to it? He's telling you that, yeah, this is good news. Yeah, $50,000. Big money I got for you. But this very Dillon will join his friends and they will all approve for $30 million for all the lawmakers. And then he bringing peanuts to our people. What can $15,000 do? $15,000 can't be a library. No, it can't. You have to get serious here, senators. You guys need to get very serious here. If $15,000 for legislative engagement and projects, and you think you're serious with this kind of thing, this is what we call tabata. Tabata at the highest level. You allowed for yourself $30 million. You gave our people $200,000. You call it country development funds. As though that money is not an insult to our people. And you come in here to show off $15,000 and you say you're transparent and you say you are accountable. And further down somewhere he wrote, we will ensure that this money is used for the internal purposes with us. $15,000 for so many purposes. So you should have listed for us all the purposes. Maybe that's why he listed here, and he's even guessing which one he needs to do. He went on to say, assist with payment of school fees, assist with payment of school fees for indigent children across the county, help to empower especially community market women. $15,000 you would take and to use to empower the thousands of our mothers and sisters who are selling in the market, and this is the best you can do, senators. That is the best you people can do for our people. And then when you people read it and say Twer is corrupt, yes, he is corrupt. We get it. So how different are you when the very Twer will convince you to take $15,000 for about 1 million people in your county? You allocate the budget. You decide. The gap is in your head. You are in greater numbers. This is a letdown, fellow Liberians. And so this is what Senator Dillon is telling us. And let me define the word Dillon used here. He went on to say that we will ensure the amount is utilized for the internal purposes. $15,000 in purposes. Poor. You don't read it yet. He went on, he used the word indigent. Now, the word indigent, I define it because I want to paint another picture for you. Poor, needy, destitute, penniless, impoverished, poverty stricken. And I put something in parentheses there, charity relief. Why am I doing that? The law is telling us that he has taken $15,000 for legislative engagement and projects. For whom? Indigent people. Indigent, basically, folks, it means poor, the needy, the destitute, the penniless, the impoverished, poverty-stricken people. These are the people. They are in the majority in our country, Senator. These are the people that voted for you. That $15,000 you are running around, is that $15,000 for which you were running all around, asking our people, I don't have money. I don't have money. Just vote for me. They voted for you, and the best you can do is to carry $15,000 for them. For your legislative engagement and projects, progressive community, this is the best you can do. with your progressive resume. You took it and put it in the toilet. Nathan Tiaje, this is why you can do for the people of Sino County. I see myself also as a citizen of Sino County. I lived there for many years. I went to school there. I attended the St. Joseph Catholic School there. Nathan Tiaje is a senator. We know his record. His record we know not pleasant and not a letdown. Will take $15,000 for legislative engagement. You think Senator Nathan Tiaje will do anything substantive to improve the material well-being of the citizens of Sino County? Nathan Tiaje, you've been around. You are taking $15,000 and you think that is any money for the people of Sino. This is the best you can do for our people in Sino County. This is the best you can do. Peter Coleman, this is the best you can do. All the senators who need, I can't remember. Vani Shemapa, he let the people of Grand Cayman down long time ago. I don't think the people of Cayman even see him as a senator anymore. They just can't wait for him to leave. A disgraced senator. He's not even making effort to repair all the damage that he has done. What kind of tabata is this? And this government that claim to be a pro-poor government, let me deal with them too. They have senators and representatives that represent poverty-stricken people, impoverished people, penniless people, people who are in complete destitution. You represent them and you think that $15,000 you can take to them to do what? In the case of Dillon, he's making mockery of the people of Monserrado County. This guy knows that there is not a public library in any of our counties. If he is the light that he claims to be, he should have been the one to register to his colleagues that, look, there is a disgrace that here in this country, we don't have public libraries. I have visited the United States. I've seen public libraries. Public libraries should be very helpful to the poor students in every community. Build the public libraries, equip them with internet, equip them with books, equip them with computers, budget millions for our people, and let the people get access to libraries so they can read, so they can do research, so that the children can have access to internet. And you taking $15,000 instead of doing the right thing? And you call yourself a senator of the people, and you rush in with the news, oh, in a spirit of transparency and accountability. We took $15,000 for legislative engagement and projects. You are nothing short of a letdown and disgrace to our people. You guys should be embarrassed for the way you represent our people. This is unacceptable, and I will not stomach it. This is complete nonsense. Taking $15,000 can't tell for legislative engagement and projects for the counties. What kind of nonsense is that? You want for us to clap for you. Oh, our senator did well. Our senator lobbied and got $15,000. This is the best you can do? The CDC lawmakers in there call themselves pro-poor, and this is your pro-poor. You secure $15,000 to carry on projects, and then you turn around, you say, oh yeah, we're doing it with Dillon Roads, we're doing it. That's the $15,000 that are going to do it? Is that how you're going to improve the material well-being of your people? What can $15,000 do to renovate schools? There are schools in Liberia that don't have armchairs. There are schools. They don't have even a recognizable chalkboard. There are schools where teachers are not being paid. There are schools that don't have books. This is a fact. Go in the counties, visit the villages where we have government schools. Some of the government schools are not built with cement. They are built with sticks and mud. And these senators that represent these people that go to these schools, they are collecting $15,000 for a whole county. And this guy who is claiming to be the light and telling us, oh, and he say he's asking for ideas. You asking for ideas for $15,000? What kind of serial lawmaker will go ask people for ideas for $15,000? At least when you secure $2 million for the county and say, I want to carry on projects here, then at least you serious a little bit. Can bring 15,000 and say, asking for idea. And for me, I'll make sure maybe we can build library, a mini library. We don't have library in Monserrado County. You know that, right? These people, they are nothing but complete letdown for our people. Talking about them can just be exhausting. I mean, when will these people get this thing, man? When will these people get this thing? Eh? Look at how much these people get. They get free gas. They get Liberian dollar pay up to sometimes 150,000 Liberian dollars. That's what these people get. Plus that they're getting United States dollar for allowances. They're getting free cars, free gas, free scrackers. Some of them entitled to about 15% to employ in their offices. When they're traveling, they get money. They're getting so much money that they should be the one to be angry that our people are in destitution. When I go there, I will make sure the school that I visited. Can you imagine the last time President George Weah visited Todmont High right there in the heart of Monrovia? And everybody was trying to blame the education minister. He's not respected. No one listening to him. Samuel 12 does not give a damn about him. Whatever he suggests in the budget, they say, oh, my man. I mean, President Weah went there. And now he was like, okay, we'll buy armchairs. There's no, right there in Monrovia. Right there. That is Darius Dillon's area of representation. And up to now, we have not heard anything from him. The light. Right there in Monrovia. So if you look at Monrovia and you look at how the senators in Monrovia behave, how much about the counties that are far in the east and north and west that we don't get to see. Right there in Monrovia, government schools are in dilapidating condition. A Todmont High, a reputable institution of government, is in dilapidation. It's dilapidated. And these people receive the budget and they will just pass it because they get their $30 million. And then it said, okay, because the county getting $200,000 each. The fee accomplished. And then when they try again, they get $15,000 for the county, they say for projects. And then the fee accomplished again. And Dillon being the guy who claims to be Mr. Light, Mr. Clean, Mr. Transparency, will come rushing to us to say, I got good news. I got $15,000. All the lawmakers should be ashamed of themselves. All of them. Take our people for joke, intelligently insult them. You are approving a budget of around $21 million for the Ministry of State for Presidential Affairs. 12 and others, the executive will draft the budget and allot for themselves around $21 million, sometimes $26 million. And these lawmakers will approve it. Does any of you have an idea? The Ministry of Presidential Affairs. Does any of you have an idea what it is? It is the smallest agency of government. It's only in Monrovia. It has no structures in the county. Because the extension of the executive branch of government in the county is through the Ministry of Internal Affairs that the superintendent work with. So the Ministry of Internal Affairs has a budget that caters to like salary for the people in the counties. So the Ministry of Presidential Affairs is just right there in Morovia, that we are, that Maggie, their few staffs and all that. They are getting around 20, 21, 26 million dollars. And these lawmakers will approve it in their good conscience, and they will feel accomplished. And then they take $15,000. They take $15,000 for the people they represent. You are a letdown, all of you. From Dillon to Nyomli to Komene Wisa to Meton Tiaje to Peter Como, all of you, complete letdown to Sir Joseph. CDC lawmakers, you are all nothing but disgraced. Your explanation of your so-called pro-poor agenda is to be able to tailor your projects, your programs, your budgeting, your policy, and everything to improve the material condition of the poor. That is why in your definition, you call yourself a pro-poor government. That anything you do will be in the interest of the poor. It will be pro-poor. It will be for the poor, and not just for, but to improve their material condition, to improve their life, to improve their schools, to improve their hospital, to improve their road, to improve their living condition. And what you do, you give each county $200,000, and you are thinking in your little mind that you are doing anything to improve the life of the poor people. You are nothing short of a letdown and a disgrace. Your pro-poor is meaningless. It has no meaning. You ride the more expensive cars. You wear the most expensive proposals. You fool our people with this lecture, pro-poor. I have few of those shirts. They are expensive. They are. And you, the ministers in this pro-poor government, that's all you wear. A suit sometimes costs about, sometimes depending on the quality, sometimes when it comes from Nigeria, these suits are expensive. You are nothing but a living contradiction of your own mantra. That is who you are. And I will not stomach it. Because you have it in you to do better. You just have refused that you will not be different. And after making all the noise for 12 years, Ellen is corrupt, and I agree she is. She's ratting corrupt. Unity Party, was corrupt, is corrupt, and I agree. Unity Party is ratting corrupt, smell with corruption. I agree. And you come to power, and what did you do? You didn't even have the courage to order a Unity Party government that you said was corrupt. Well, what you do? You in bed with them in this very corruption. In bed with them. And that is why you will set aside $15,000 for our people. You give it to the lawmakers for them to go do projects. And you think that is any seriousness on your part. You people need to get serious here. So, folks, this is Focus on Liberia. This is the Hour of Politics with me, Anthony Cyr. Earlier, I told you I will be a little different today. And I will not hesitate to call names, because these names are the one who are subjecting our people to this mystery, man, based on the decisions they make. And so they need to be called out for the tabata that they exhibit in public space. We must call them out. I can't sit here. My brothers and sisters in Town, the D12 high school that I graduated from is not being renovated, and a senator who represents that place is telling me $15,000 is enough to renovate my D12. I taught at Boston High School, and a senator is telling me $15,000 is enough to renovate my Boston. And Peter Comer is telling me of all the schools in Grand Creek County, if $15,000 will renovate them. He is a letdown and a disgrace. He does not have the slightest interest of our people in his heart. All he cares about is nobody else but himself. He is not a good representation. None of these senators is. None of them is a representation of our people, a better representation of our people. They should be ashamed of themselves. Dillon, who we thought was any good to make a difference, had the huge support from folks in the diaspora, people giving him money for campaign. Practically, he didn't spend a dime of his own money. People gave him money. He walked like Nicodemus in the middle of the night, snatched money from people. Even some of those people have questionable characters, thinking that he was doing it to kind of be different, but he's not. He's in the same boat. How are you different from Thomas Fowler and the rest of them? How? This is troubling for our country. You see him there in the picture holding our children in his hand just because he got $15,000. See your senator holding the people in the hand. That's when he posted, what should we do with the $15,000 with exclamation mark? Pay school fee for indigent children. And then he took a picture among the children, he put it there. And $15,000, you think that is any seriousness on his part? And some folks on Facebook commenting, our senator, the people's senator, congratulating him because he got $15,000. You think $15,000 can improve the life of these children? Why can't Senator Darius Dillon, who believes that we need libraries in the Monserrato County with a total number of around 1 million people, why can't he put 2 to 3 million to 5, 10 million in the budget to build libraries in all the communities in Monserrato County? What is wrong with that? When it comes to our people, they don't see, they turn blind. I want to see a library in Negro Town. I want to see a library in Logan Town. I want to see a library everywhere. I want to see a library in West Point. Maybe West Point now, because that place, we need to relocate our people. Government upon government have promised to relocate our people. They have not done it. That place is threatened. But maybe we should have a library there because folks are there now. In Clara Town. This is the president's place he lived. No library. They have to even steal money to change the people's zines. And the lawmaker did nothing about it, even when that was exposed. They're acting like they're helpless. I want to see library everywhere. You know, I agree with you. But that $15,000 can't do it. You are a joke to think. You are not serious. Put millions in that budget, man. Let's build the libraries. Come in, we say, I want to see millions in the budget for libraries in River G. Come on, I want to see millions in the budget. I'm talking small money here and think that's going to change the life of our people. Huh? Why people can't just get serious for one bit? Just one bit. The level of mediocrity is unbelievable. It's the same thing we saw with you build a one-man road in Doe community and build statue and people celebrating you. What kind of foolishness is this? taking picture with the children because you got $15,000. And you think that's going to change the life of them. I want to see these children in well-built schools, equipped with books, computer, internet, electricity being provided. Senator, you can do it. You, the senators, can do it. Find the money, put the money in the budget. Let the teachers be paid. Think holding the children in your hands is going to change their life situation? Eating $15,000 is going to change their life situation? Okay, go ahead and pay their school fee. And you asking for an idea? Go and pay those children's school fee. You pay their school fee if the teacher is not paid, if there's no book, if there's no electricity in that school. What good is it going to do? They go to school, they're hungry, at home they don't have food to eat. Because you pay school fee, you think their life has changed? Well, fellow Liberians, this is all we got. Our lawmakers are complete letdown. And look at this. So $15,000 each time 30 senators is about $450,000. That is the money they took for the whole country. You see how serious these people are? 30 senators put together. They're rushing, taking $15,000 each. So the 15 times the 30 senators is $450,000. So they took $450,000. You pay attention, $450,000. That's why all the senators took for the whole country for legislative engagement and projects. Now they want our people to sit around them. They want our people to celebrate them because they got this little money for them. What can this money do for our whole country? Now, I am not naive here. I'm not saying this is the only money that the lawmakers, set aside, to carry on legislative projects and engagement, right? I'm not naive. Don't get it twisted here. I know that these people also put money, which is $200,000 for each county. That is insignificant. That is an insult to our people because they gave them said $30 million. Compare $30 million to $200,000 for each county. Now, that is an insult. And then they are adding insult to injury. Say, oh, maybe it's not enough, so let's find other way. Now they're bringing $15,000. The other money that you may see in the budget, like some counties that have complaints, like, Metro-St is in one of the counties, so they have something that they call the Social Development Fund. It goes to the. So what's about the counties that don't have complaints there? I'm talking about what does this government budget for each county to develop? They give a good name, County Development Funds, and that 200,000. And you think you're serious? As though that is not an insult. You take 15,000, and Dillon is telling us because he claimed to be the wise one among them. So hey, you come. I got $15,000. What would do for you? I need ideas. My idea: let pay mini library, let pay the children's school fee, let take care of the market woman. Seriously? All of you took $450,000. The money half of the money, all of the money gonna remain in your pocket. I mean, who's gonna audit them? The legislature has not been audited for years. No one audits them. They just take and take and take, and no one knows. And no one cares. Anyway, folks, I have to leave it there. I know you guys been very basic joining me in this conversation. And of course, you have been watching the Hour of Politics here with me, Anthony C.A. Here at Hour of Politics, we do analysis, we do commentary, we take questions, and we also, provide some answers for those questions. I see 120 comments. Let me see if I can, chime on a little of them. And then after that, I will call it a day. I really came here to blast. To those of you who may feel that I didn't do a good job, I want to say I tried my best. I wish I could do better. $15,000 divided by 1 million people equals 0.015 per person. You see, somebody who knows numbers is telling me, see, this is the cent. It's like giving our people a cent. That is a disgrace. Let me hear from this person, Masakwe Selu, talking nonsense today. Yeah, he's dealing with me. I like that. You guys need to deal with me too, as I deal with others. If I was ADD who claims to save the people, I wouldn't have approved that amount because that's very little, and that's my point. That is an insult for our people. You need to do better, senators. Let's get from I think Asa Kofa. Let's get from Mr. Kofa here. And I shouldn't say Mr. I don't know the face here, maybe the female. I know Asa. Is that how you pronounce your name? Okay, the person writes, and he gave his own net about 3,000 to the county. His own pay. He only takes home 5,000 for himself and his family. And he is the only senator that has fostered such trend. Let us be factual here. She or whoever that person is saying Dillon is doing better. Dillon is doing better. You two, you are not serious for our country. You call that better? You call that better? Poor. You're not ready to. They hear from Vamandi or Donzo. Why the government didn't use the $15,000 to pay the civil servants? That person is making the case. Let's hear from this person again. 450,000 are nearly $500,000 gone in Jolly Jolly party. That is exactly what they're going to do. They're going to Jolly Jolly with that money. I mean, what kind of citizen will ask questions? If you try not to ask questions, you're not going to get the answers. You'll be wasting your time. This is the story of Liberia, and this story is sad. That is the story I don't want to entertain in my stomach or in my mind. Saki White, you are so wrong. Dillon has absolutely, no man, Dillon was absolutely right. Sorry, let me put it right. You are wrong. You are so wrong. Dillon was absolutely right to recapture money stolen by Weah and 12 from the Liberian people and disclose it and give same back to the poor people. By that, Dillon has proven to be an astute leader and high marks in accountability and transparency. That's what we're talking about. Mediocrity. People don't see the big picture. Everybody supports somebody. They don't support Liberia. It's about people, about somebody. This is what sent him into the stomach. That people are so blind. And all they do is celebrate individuals. You knew Dillon yesterday. Did you know him yesterday? But let me leave it there. That person has spoken. Stop writing nonsense. Where is the $30,000 and what is the impact? Someone is going after that person. We have the viewer from YouTube. So what do you want for Dillon to do? I said it. Let Dillon put millions in the budget to build libraries. Let Dillon work along with his fellow senators. Since we need libraries in all the counties, let them put millions. Not $15,000 for library. Are you really listening to yourself? A $15,000 used to build library? Something wrong with you, right? Whole county? That one library, even if you've been in one library, you think that's enough money? So I can give you $15,000 now, you go build library for the county and see what I will help our people. People need to be serious around here. I'm tired with the joke you people on here. You people are the one who embolden these weak-minded lawmakers, these visionary lawmakers. You are the one who embolden them. You justify for their inactions, for their terrible decisions, for their insults to our people. You justify it by supporting them. You are more than they are in terms of being a letdown. You are a letdown to your country for supporting these weak-minded people who don't have our people's best interests at heart. You come and justify for them. Can't talk about Dillon give 5,000. Whole country you get 5,000, you think that anything's wrong? Something wrong with you? It's something wrong with you. Do you know what Monserrato County needs? Do you not know? We need well-equipped schools, and you think that $5,000 will do it. How are you people just myopic in your thinking? Second, folks, I will leave it here. I will leave it here. You know, I don't like to see people justifying for these people when they made these terrible decisions. At least they don't give $5,000 to a people. Do you know how many people in Monserrato County? We're talking about 1 million people here. So let's say Dillon takes place, he gave 5,000. Who does he give the $5,000 to? Can you name me one person Dillon is giving the $5,000 to? What can $5,000 do for 1 million people in the county? Who does he give the money to? So let's say he goes from one market to another and he giving each person $100. Do you know how many markets? Do you know how many market women we have? Is that the best way to help our people? And you think we should celebrate that? You are a joke. Today, I came here to fight for Liberian, for our people. So let me remove this Dillon man's picture here. He's not ready for prime time. Let me put my country flag behind me. Those of you who come here to support these weak-minded, visionless leaders and justify for them, you are pissing me off right now. I'm not going to take that from you. Dillon is giving 5,000 to the finance ministry? No. Who is receiving the money? Who can attest to that? Let's say he giving a $5,000 to the people. $5,000, what will it do for our people? These guys take 30 million. And out of the 30 million, Dillon, hey, giant share. Because the lawmakers in Liberia, these people are making pretty close to over $500,000, each of them making a year. And you take $5,000, you give it to our people. And you sitting here telling me, at least the man, he's supposed to give at least? Nonsense. I will leave it there, folks. Let me close. Why I have my country flag behind me. Some of you came to support individuals. Some of you didn't come here to support Liberia, to advocate for the poverty-stricken people. You didn't come here for them. You came here to lower the standard to the lowest. That is how it has been. You get the people $5,000, they cheer you. It will not take us anywhere. Folks, the sun says we are all Liberians, and that sun is taking us home. I'll catch you another time on another edition of the Hour of Politics. Bye-bye, folks.
We are Liberians.